Hi guys, today I'm here with you to give you a lecture on respiration. Cool. As you might be looking at the screen, this is a very cool animation of the arrangement of alveoli in a lung. So this is no fancy graphic art, it's just your lungs, okay? So if you invert it upside down, you're going to find that it looks like a tree. A very interesting tree though, because it has a right part and a left part. So this is called a bronchi tree. Okay, take a moment to look at it and let's discuss what are the components of this bronchi tree. To begin with, let me change the ink color and let's begin. Okay, so this bronchi tree basically consists of, from the top, we'll be going from the top down to the bottom. Okay, down to the bottom. So see, we have the trachea. From there we go to the primary bronchi. Referring to the diagram, can you say which the primary bronchi is? This one, right? This is the primary bronchi. Okay, from the primary bronchi we go to the secondary bronchi. So these out here that you see are the secondary bronchi. To that we go to the tertiary bronchi. Tertiary bronchi meaning the branches further that you see, these branches that you see. Okay, so these are the tertiary bronchi, and at the end, that is the very last tip of it, they are called the bronchioles. Right, now I'll just like to add that bronchi is used synonymously with pleura. Okay, these two terms are synonymous in nature. So from the bronchioles we come at a point which is further microscopic, which is called the terminal bronchioles. Interesting enough, right? So you might call them like the leaves of your tree. Okay, from the terminal bronchioles we have something called the alveolar ducts. So these are the functional units of lungs. Alveolar ducts, these are the functional units of lung, as because this is exactly the site where all kinds of chemical species are going to get exchanged, like O2 or CO2 to start with, right? Next, now if we look at a basic diagram of lung, we have a right lobe and we have a left lobe, right? And we have something called the diaphragm. So this diaphragm is nothing but the floor of something called the thoracic cavity, after which there is the stomach, right? Okay, the cavity inside which the stomach lies, right? So this is like the floor of thoracic cavity. This is the diaphragm. Now what is interesting about this diaphragm is that it is made up of skeletal muscles. Okay, अब ये मैंने यहाँ पे क्यों मेंशन किया है मैं बताती हूँ आपको, क्योंकि जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे हार्ट ले लो, यहाँ पे जो हार्ट रहेगी, हार्ट का स्केलेटल मसल्स रहता है. स्केलेटल मसल्स में ना एटीपी को यूज करके हम एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, which helps in mechanical expansion and contraction, okay, of the tissue. Okay, and यही तो खासियत है हार्ट की कि ये पंप जब करती है तब उसका एक्सपेंशन और कॉन्ट्रैक्शन तो होना बनता है, करेक्ट? एक्सपेंशन एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्शन तो होना बनता है, लेकिन लंग्स जो है ये पैसिव इन नेचर होती है. इनमें डायरेक्टली कोई एक्सपेंशन या कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होती नहीं है. ये एक्सपेंशन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन जो है ये कोऑर्डिनेट कौन करता है या रेगुलेट कौन करता है? ये डायफ्राम जो है यहाँ पे इसको देखता है. एक्सपेंशन और कॉन्ट्रैक्शन जो है इस डायफ्राम पे डिपेंड करता है, जो कि एक डोम शेपेड मेम्ब्रेन है बेसिकली. ओके, इट्स अ थिक मेम्ब्रेन. एक थोड़ा थिकनेस नहीं होने से इतना बड़ा लंग का स्ट्रक्चर को ये सपोर्ट नहीं कर पाएगा, इसलिए इसका थोड़ा डिमेंशन भारी होता है, ये थिक होता है. फाइन, नाउ let me change the color for you of the pen and let's move on. तो यहाँ पे देखने की बात यह है कि ये पैसिव जो एक्सपेंशन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होता है ये होता कैसे है, और ऑब्वियसली इंस्पिरेशन और एक्सपिरेशन में और इंस्पिरेशन में अलग अलग तरीके की होगी, है ना। तो अब आप सोचिए कि इंस्पिरेशन में होना क्या चाहिए और एक्सपिरेशन में क्या होना चाहिए। डियर स्टूडेंट्स, इन इंस्पिरेशन द लंग वॉल्यूम शुड increase and in expiration the lung volume should decrease. So how is this mechanical aspect of breathing controlled? How is it controlled? Now we know that it's the diaphragm that's controlling all the factors, but how? Okay, that's the basic question. So what happens when the diaphragm contracts? When the diaphragm contracts, as a result ये जो वॉल्यूम है ऐसे छोटी हो जाती है। ये जब छोटी होती है लंग का जो वॉल्यूम है वो एक्सपैंड कर जाता है। लंग, ये देखिए यहाँ पे खाली जगह आ गया। As a result it will force these walls to come and expand. As a result what happens? Same case with this also. As a result what happens? Lung volume increases by increase in the thoracic cavity. Okay, इसके बाद होती क्या है? इंट्रापल्मोनरी प्रेशर। What does this fancy term mean? Intrapulmonary pressure is basically the pressure of all the air that's inside this lung. Okay, so it needs to come into equilibrium with the atmospheric pressure for the inspiration to come to a halt. Inspiration has started. When does it start? At the point in time where the diaphragm has contracted. After the contraction, the lung volume expands, the thoracic cavity expands, lung volume is expanding. Now the air is drawn inside our lungs. When it is drawn inside our lungs, it has to come to a halt. When will it come to a halt? When your intrapulmonary pressure, that is pressure inside your lungs, becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure, which is nothing but 760 mmHg. Correct? So this was about inspiration, when it starts, when it comes to a halt. Now let's talk about expiration. In case of expiration, let me change the color for you again. In case of expiration, the reverse thing is going to happen. So the diaphragm has to expand. Now when the diaphragm expands or relaxes, you can say, when it relaxes, then the lung comes back to its original position, right? It comes back to its original position. As a result, the lung volume decreases. As the thoracic cavity volume also decreases. This results in expelling of the CO2, because that is the product, right? Product of respiration. After the cells have undergone respiration, what is the expelling product? CO2. You need to supply the cell with O2 for the respiration, or the cellular respiration to be exact, to carry out, and then the product is CO2, so it comes out here and gets exported to the environment. But when will it come to a halt? When does it stop? When does this process of expiration stop? When the atmospheric pressure and the intrapulmonary pressure, to be exact, becomes equal. So I hope this process is entirely clear to you. This is strictly educational video. Stay tuned for more content. Thank you.